Now, so I've been doing a little bit of work in the background here, and I'm going to explain to you what I've done and show you a few things here. To start off with, you can see I've got all my rooms in. Okay, and a couple of things here. You can see I've got 26.2. And so what I did there in order to get that decimal point in terms of the floor area, and I prefer to have a single decimal point in there. If you type in unit, sorry, let's activate the screen here. Okay, it'll bring up this. It tends to go to infrastructure, hit the drop down box, go common, go into your area there, and just in your rounding put in 1 decimal place. Okay, and that'll work that'll update all of your room tags to 26 point whatever it might be. All right, so that was one thing that I did. Now you can see I'm starting to put in as well strings of dimensions here, and all the way across. Try and get in as many strings rather than, I don't like single dimensions, because they're not relevant to what's around them. So kind of that's a first year mistake that is made. So lots and lots of long strings of dimensions. Position them so that you give yourself a bit of space in here for the room tags, and also for construction notes and things like that as well. You can see that I've started the process perhaps of putting in some door tags and things like that too. Okay, I want to show you my my dimension style as such. All right, I'm going to go in here now. So I brought up the tick mark line weight up to 8. All right, and I'm using for the tick mark a diagonal 1.5. Now let me just show you that. So when I go into TL on the keyboard, you get this arrangement here, and that's slightly better. I think to me it looks a little bit better. All right, so I'm going to pick that dimension string again, and I should actually rename this because it's a 2mm. Right, it's a 2mm aerial that I'm using, and it already exists. So I'll do it. Right, we'll do a 2.0 and see if that'll take on it. Yeah, okay. Now the reason I've done that is that I've changed the text size to 2mm. All right, the text offset is this piece here, and it's offset to the line there. All right, so we could actually bring that in a little bit closer if we wanted something like that there. I tend to make my text background on the dimensions to be transparent as well. Okay, and that's the main things. You know, I'd stick with black. I know other people do other colors, but I think the standard enough is black there. And I'd leave the rest. Okay. Now, so that's my that would be my standard dimension style as such. Okay. Now, what I was doing as I went along here, because you know I put in, I got my walls in, and there was no kind of rhyme or reason to them in one sense. But as I put my dimensions in, I'm starting to tidy up. So you can see now that I've got a gap of 1150, 1150, and 1150. I've purposely put those in there to have it consistent throughout the way here. You can see that I've lined up these walls all the way through here, and I've lined up the end points as well all the way through there. Okay, just hit TL on the keyboard here. You can see that at the ends of this wall, I've got my wrapping, I've got my plasterboard wrapping around the side there too. Okay, other things that I've done is, again, I've just I've kind of tidied up. I've aligned all of these walls along here so that my corridor is 2.6 the whole way around the corner there as well. You can see I've got a mid corridor, an east corridor, and this one here is going to be the west corridor. Okay. You can see I've got storage 1, storage 2, I've got dressing rooms 1, 2 and 3, so I'm distinguishing those rooms as well. That's important to do there too. Okay, so you can see I've got my basketball markings in there, and the way I did that was I went into the CAD file and I extracted out using the W block command the line work for the basketball arena, and that's actually a CAD file that sits on top of the Revit floor, if you like. And if you need some directions on how to do that, I can do a video for you on that as well. But it's straightforward enough stuff to do. Now, okay, so I've organized all of that stuff there. I've pulled in my grids to get them in closer to the building, because if you go down to my sheet down here, my ground floor plan sheet, you can see now I've got that neatly organized at a scale of 1:100, and it sits in quite well in there too. All right. Before I go into the sheets, I'm going to show you that I created a duplicate with detailing for fire and access of the ground floor, and same with the first floor level, a duplicate with detailing for fire and access. Okay, if I go into my first floor plan, you can see it here. Now, there's a little trick that you can do here, because you can see I've got an underlay there. All right, so that's an underlay, and I probably switch that off at this point here. So over in the properties, you've got underlay here, and I'll just move to none, and that takes out kind of that area there. All right, you can use a region, a plan region. Okay, and let me just bring this into play here. So I'm going to take it, say, from there, and I just bring it out maybe to there. All right. Now what that allows me to do is to adjust the view range here. So I'm going to 2200 apply, and let's bring that up to 4 meters. Okay, 4 meters, and I'll bring this up to 3.8. Apply, okay, and finish. Now you can see what I'm trying to do is get my roof in here. All right, just within that area there, because the only particular areas that I want to show that are on the first floor plan would be the escape stairs here and here, the gym that's there, the open space that's here, and the void of the arena and the stage here. All right, so I can apply the plan region over here as well to get that roof up and into position. Got a hidden line there. All right, so you can adjust that at any point once it's in there. And again, we'll bring this up to 7, and I'll bring this up to, say, 6. Apply, and that should get the whole of the roof in there. Okay, so you can apply that over here as well, and that's a little trick that you can apply there. It just makes the first floor plan a little bit more legible, I think, by doing that. All right. Now, so what I did then was I've created my sheets. So I'm at the position where I can start to create my sheets, and I'm going to give you a look at these. Right, so here's the ground floor plan done, and title block all filled out. Okay, and if you see over here, it's project 1.1. The originator is TU831. It's XXXX in this case. M3 to signify that it's a digital model. The role is AT. The sheet number is sequential. It's 0001. The status, and you have to put in the number 2 into this, and that status is it's for review. Okay, and then your name and your student number in there. Put in all your names. So put in the group. Okay, put in your team number, and maybe the initials of each member of the team in there at that point. That would do the trick there. Okay, now that's that. So that's that sheet set up quite nicely. Here's my first floor plan, and again, all set up, and I've dragged in various different sections and things like that as well. Here's my north and east elevation. one of the videos I'm going to do for you now, I'm going to just change around some of the finishes. I've used the same finish the whole way through, and I've asked you to do 3 types of finishes. So I'll address that in another video, but I got that set up. Here's my west and south elevation. Okay, like so. So they're all done and ready to go. Now, in the building sections, I'm not sure in the brief, I might have asked you for 2, but for me, this building requires 6 building sections to explain it properly. Okay, so here's my first one down through there. Here's the second one through the arena. Okay, I've got a third one which I probably don't need down there, to be honest with you, unless I shift it and look back this way or something like that. In fact, I think that's exactly what I'm going to do. So I'll activate that view. So I'm just I'll bring it over maybe through the stairs here, all right, and I'll flip it so that it is looking this way here, and I'll pull it right through. So I've got a section looking that way now and a building section looking that way. I think that works quite well. And I've got a building section down through here. Now, I've also got a building section through here. I think that's important. And we've got a building section through there as well. So I would suggest that a minimum of 6 building sections is required to explain this building. And I would expect now you guys to make that decision and do that as well. All right, so there's buildings 1 and 2, 3 and 4, all at a scale of 1 is to 100, like so. And you're going to pick up things like this here, okay, when you do those sections. That's why they're so handy as well. That needs to be fixed. You can see I've still got my capping on in there. I showed you that in the last video as well. You're going to have little things like this here where I brought the external wall down through here because of this curve situation, right? So I'd prefer to have the external below the roof rather than the internal above the roof, if you know what I mean. And all that's going to be hidden with a ceiling in here anyway, if that's the way you want to do it. Now you could kind of curve the walls, okay, so you could bring this one up and curve it, and then you could curve the external to sit down on top of it. Whether that's worth doing or not, you know, that's entirely up to you. Would you do that in a real project? I don't think so, to be honest with you. What you want to do is get a good seal on the roof here. That's the important bit, is to be able to get a flashing and counter flashing seal on in there. Now that I've got my rooms created, activate view, I can go in, and I like you to do this. To me, this is important to do. So you tag your rooms in the section as well, all right, like so. All right, all the way across there. And that would be standard for all of your sections there as well. So here's sections 5 and 6, okay, like so. And again, title block filled out. Site plan needs a bit of work. Okay, so I just here's my building here, and I just used the PDF of the site plan that was supplied here. And I know we've done, a lot of you have done different work by putting in drop-off points and car parking and things like that here. So that all goes in that site. That site plan is for the building, but it's also to position and locate all of your sustainable energy equipment. You know, the pond down here, and if you're putting in a windmill and various things like that too, that's go in there. And then I've set this up for your fire and your access. It's a duplicate with detailing. You could do this, just do a duplicate, which would take out all the text and stuff like that. You decide which way you want to go, which is the best way to do that, and fire and access for the first floor. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 sheets. Okay, so that's what I'm expecting in terms of your GA set, if you like. Title blocks filled out, north points in, all that kind of stuff there. The building well explained in terms of elevations and sections as well. What can be very handy too, right, is, let me just get rid of one of these here. And if you want to show this, you can. I'm not going to stop you. Is a a building a section box, okay, cut down through. And again, section boxes are really handy to be able to go in, just make sure you've got your walls aligned and everything else like that, and just see how things are looking. Okay, so that's my building section through there, and at any point you can select it and just move it up and move it up, and you can see your roofs are starting to work out and that type of thing. All right, and I've got some ceilings in there as well. Okay, so that's a building section 3D view, which you might consider putting one of those in as well. Because these are design decisions I'm leaving up to you as the team to make, to explain the building the best way that you can explain it in terms of just GAs, rather than before we get into the detail end of things here. You can see as well that I put a concrete pad, kind of a footpath around the whole building. I like to do that. Why do I like to do that? Because I hate having my building floating in air, and I just like to have a solidity there. Now you might need to do a little bit of changes in around that, to suit your drop-off bays and stuff like that, and that's fine too. Let me just bring this up here. I don't know if some of you might not have noticed this as yet, but there's the canopy. So there is a canopy over the entrance here with those circular steel columns holding that up there too. So what have I left to do here? I have windows to put in. Okay, so I have a ton of windows to put in, and I'm going to do a video or two on that and show you the technique I'm using for that. I think there's long windows going in here. There's certainly a bank of windows across there as well. And basically what I will be doing for those is selecting that wall, and I'll be cutting a hole in it, and then I'll be putting in the Schuko curtain wall system. I'll be breaking that up, and then I'll be swapping out solid panels for opening panels where required. And that'll be for those long sections as well that are here and here, and any of those other kind of large window sections. That's the technique that I'm going to be using for that. Okay, so that brings you up to date, and watch out for one or two more. I'm populating my walls and my roofs and everything as I go along in terms of the descriptions, the finish, the type comments for the elevation notes, and all of my type marks as well as I go along. So when I go to populate this with the notes, I can just start shooting in the construction notes and everything else like that. It'll go in pretty quickly. So what this has done is given you a very good idea in terms of the amount of work that's involved in it, but how to distribute the work amongst the teams as well for your ACC. Okay.